The report coming from the World Economic Forum says 14.5 million deaths are likely come the year 2050 as a result of the issue of climate change. I know that bothers you. So how do you react to this kind of report?
It's sad. It's very sad when we have conferences and forums like this. We get to see world leaders, organization leaders, and high net individuals come together and they say a whole lot of things and put things on paper. But the sad reality for a lot of African countries, majorly those Eastern countries and some part of Western African countries, that we are not talking about climate change anymore. We are living it. We see it on a daily basis. And it's also part of things that are resulting to conflict, armed conflict. And so for some part of Latin, the Americas too, they are also feeling it. We on this side, we are having drought. They on that side, they are having ocean surge. The sea and ocean levels there are rising, and they are completely losing normal lands where the Aborigines were living. Now they can't live there anymore. But on this side, we are having serious doubts, and we need to go beyond the forums. We need to go beyond putting pen on paper and saying things and start doing the work.
All right, now, moving from just paper, putting pen to paper and doing the work, what kind of work is needed? There's still a kind of blame game here when we talk about climate change, and you have some region accusing other region of being the most contributor to the climate issues that we're having. For instance, Africa region feeling like they have not contributed much to the climate change as much as the West, and so some form of funding should be provided to eradicate or to control these issues. What are your thoughts on this?
On that, I will say this: we are all guilty. Now the percentage of the guilt now differ, but we are all guilty. There are petrol cars in every country, in every region. Even the villages have petrol cars. So you are contributing a little. We used to have lead in our fuel before it was banned. So you imagine the amount of brain damage it was given to children. But there was a policy, a deliberate policy. I would say, good, remove this from fuel. So now it's the same thing here. Now, I think it was the president of Kenya a year ago. He was saying this: everybody there should be a tax for everybody pushing carbon monoxide in the air. There should be a tax for those on this place that is helping desertification by cutting down trees. There should be a tax. So everybody should pay. So not looking whether you're poor or rich, everybody should pay. Now you pay according to the amount you emit. I don't know if you understand. Good. You can't tell me a country that has over 1,000 or more than that fleet of airlines will pay the same as maybe an airpiece. I don't know. Just put the percentage down. This is the percentage. For anything you do, this is the percentage. So if you have a country like, let's say, Germany, that is bringing back the coal factories, the coal thermal energy, and all of them, all because they can't get oil from, from Russia, and they are bringing up the coal. Good, pay the tax. So let it be a level. Don't say because I'm African or because I'm from Europe or I'm from the Middle East. No, if I am flaring gas, I should pay the tax. That way, it will be no one is owing or looking down or helping anybody, because in the long run, we'll suffer this. Nobody is immune. I'll give you a typical example. A lot of the immigration happening from East Africa, you think those guys living in Somalia, they are living there because of poverty. Yes, but it's environmental issues. They can't stay in their village anymore. And you think France is free? No, they are moving there. So you wake up in the news and you see 10,000 guys from East Africa just arrived Italy. That is the problem. That is part of the problem. So imagine if Kano State or Bauchi or Sokoto or Kebbi, half that population decide to move to France, will France be able to accommodate them? No. So I don't know if you're saying the long run. Now we keep logging trees this way and thinking is what do they even call it? There's a name they call it around here. We keep logging and logging and logging, and
we think it's development. We're opening up certain areas.
We are losing the chances to bring back oxygen and take out the CO2 that is going into the atmosphere. But we think it's development. It's not. So with time, you get to see that let's even start from the diseases we've had over time. A lot of this is direct impact between human and wildlife. Things that were stuck in the forest is now coming too close to humans. To what is happening? We are knocking out the forest. They don't have a habitat anymore.
Is there a way to create a balance? Because if those areas that development, so to speak, is getting into, is there a way to create a balance that while development gets into those areas, nature is also preserved?
Yes, this is where government comes in. If government should stay by force, what I mean by force, these are reserved areas. You can't go beyond this. I don't know if
them. It's not that we don't.
But it's not implemented. Those same places you call reserved areas, if you see in front of them,
Government, you have them. That's what I'm saying.
Or we had them.
You go there and maybe from the gate they are reserved, but when you get in, it's not reserved. Let's not talk about the forest reserves. From the road, you see the trees, but once you go after the first 500 meters, you'll be so shocked that it's plain land that is inside. All the trees that have been lobbed. So now, how can we deal with this? So these are things that African nations are grappling with. We need to enforce. We need to keep enforcing. Some years back, let's bring it home. Some years back, the Atlantic Ocean came visiting. I don't know if you remember. People were literally swimming in their bedroom. It's the same thing. The sea level is going up. And we are praying it doesn't happen again. But will it? Yes, it will. We now have it, it's not now normal. Every year from Enugu to Lokoja, that expressway, that used to be very high if you fly that way. There is even a bridge. It used to be the longest bridge in Nigeria. It will rise to the extent that you can't cross that bridge.
Don't you think, this could be largely attributed to lack of public awareness? Because if you look at other climes, an average person in the Western one have a proper education when it comes to the issue of climate change compared to Africa, where there's no proper education. And then, so what should be done to improve the level of, let me use the word literacy when it comes to the subject of climate change, and for people to really understand that they have to own this process to create a sense of belonging?
Okay, that's a good one. Growing up, we used to have, I used to be a Boy Scout. There are a lot of activities and a lot of societies that we've lost over time. And one of the actions of the Boy Scout was going into communities and planting trees. I think we need to revisit, and we need that kind of education. Right, the children should be taught. They should be taught what nature is to them, how they relate with nature. And if you own something and know something, then you can take care of it. If we don't groom and pass this information to everyone and tell them, hey, if we don't take care of this environment, we won't have another one. You go to a lot of villages, their mainstay for energy is firewood and coal. By now, it shouldn't be. Because the rate at which you chop down the trees is not the same rate at which the tree will grow. So some villages that used to have forest, the forest is gone. So for all those movies I used to have, the Dibia is in the forest. The Dibia doesn't have any forest anymore. The Dibia is now living in the town. So we need that education. Everyone should be involved. Everyone should be involved. That education is a continuum. It doesn't stop. It should never ever stop.
All right. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres at the DAVOS summit yesterday was saying that the world needs to take action to ensure a just and equitable transition to from fossil fuel to renewable energy. How would that be possible? Is it possible to have equitable transition from fossil fuel to renewable energy?
This argument, it will keep going back and forth. On this argument, this is business. I don't know if you understand. This is business. If we ask ourselves, if you go to the stock market now, what are the first 10 highest trading stocks? If you leave technology, the next place you go to is oil. So if you are telling the world needs to leave and go to renewable, how fast can you do that? I don't know if you understand. There's still a whole lot of dependence on fossil fuel. Now we could now say, okay, let's start phasing out gradually. But another thing is this: when hands are pointed on this particular topic, a lot of hammer is coming on Africa.
Why?
Are you telling Africa to leave fossil fuel? Right now, what other backbone do we have? I'm talking as an African right now. What other backbone do we have? The West have been able to use fossil fuel to grow their economy. Some particular countries in the West right now, there is no drop of fossil fuel in their ground. They've explored everything. They're now importing. So right now, Africa still has the highest, comparatively, one of the highest deposits. And we have not been able to grow our economy. So we need something to grow our economy. So there has to be a balance somewhere. I don't know, there definitely have to be a balance somewhere. Shell is about leaving Nigeria and selling their oil fields. Whether you're living or not, people are queuing up to take it. I don't know if you understand. And who tells you that they're not even going to do it by proxy? So there has to be a balance somewhere. If you're telling me to stop using my phone and use something, give me options. Yeah, give me options.
But ecopreneurs are developing innovative, coming up with innovations to help deal with these issues of environmental challenge. Because according to the World Economic Forum's Global Risk Report for 2024, environmental risk was the top 4. Do you think that these innovations will help deal to a good extent with these environmental challenges?
Yes. I think they say small drops make a mighty ocean, isn't it? So no matter how small the drop is welcome. The thing is this: we have to start somewhere. Then we also have to see the business in what we're doing. Now, the more we invest in green energy, the better for everybody. But it needs a lot of investment. And most times I will say things as it concerns we on this side of the divide. 90% of the technology on green energy is not coming from Africa. We are majorly consumers. So if for every company, for every organization, for every firm starting up, call it whatever energy you want to call it, they are set up for profit. So nobody is going to carry their technology and give it to you for free because of the color of your skin or because they want to tell you to leave fossil fuel. So there has to be, we have to strike a balance. You make your profit, yes, but you don't make a chunk of the profit off me. So if we have investment in green energy, yes. This another funny side of it is that most of these resources you need for that particular green energy also comes from Africa. So that investment should come here. They shouldn't stay there and give us the rhetorics. They should come here and invest in green energy. That way, we on this side can partner, and everybody is a win-win. The more we have windmills, the less we depend on oil-based refineries. The less we depend on energy coming from crude. The more we have now, another issue is this: by the time we say, okay, if we divide some of these things, we will see that it's not always that advantageous. If we say EVs for cars, okay. EVs for, are you going to put EVs on the plane? EVs for train, okay, it's on ground. Now, at the end of the day, how do you dispose the waste from EVs? This is another thing nobody is talking about. How do you dispose those particular battery waste? Because whether you like it or not, at a particular point in time, that battery is going to be done. So whether you're going to be able to reuse, right now that technology is not open for everybody. Maybe somebody is holding it and hiding it somewhere.
So at some point, waste is still going to be created.
Yes, waste is still going to be created. So are we going to say this waste is, if we put it side by side with what is happening to the environment, okay, this outweighs this, let's go for that. So we really need to sit down and say, okay, this is favorable to everybody. Because this race for green energy, on the other side, is business. I don't know if you understand. And whoever is championing and winning, it's just like the race for oil. Now, this is for good. But a race is a race.